Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. I'm James J. As always, Coelco Yachts, and
What's going on, world?
this is Wrestling with Entertainment. As you've noticed, I haven't announced Mitch Mayhem yet again. And yeah, he's missing. We can't find him. But
I mean, I just killer or something. I'm just trying out, like maybe I should take up a new name, AEW Killer.
uh,
I think they got a nice read.
we are I don't have exactly the best track record with a co-host at this point. Like, my last co-host died, so
Wow,
yeah.
not a good.
Me and Mitch had milk cartons with your face on it during WrestleMania weekend. We were we were scared about that.
Oh no, trust me. I mean, I made it. I made it through WrestleMania week, but trust me, New York is 6 days of wrestling could have killed you yourself anyway. But I wasn't gonna miss this show for anything.
Yeah, of course. And now Mitch is missing
I
again.
know.
That track
I
record.
mean, that's what happens, man. When you try to talk WWE with me, man, I catch you in the parking lot. Next thing you know the milk carton, sipping through straws. Eating your food through straws. You know what I'm saying?
So you're taking full responsibility of the murder of Mitch Mayhem.
In the words of Rikishi, I did it for WWE.
As long as if you want to take that heat, man. Last week,
No.
last week we talked all about the G1. I really actually enjoyed analyzing the hell out of that show.
Oh
But
yeah.
but one thing we forgot to mention, and yeah, we covered everybody that was in the G1. We didn't cover who wasn't in the G1, and that was Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, I mean that was a big one. I think that was a big missing one because usually Suzuki Gun gets a nice little change of people in there, at least the two heavy hitters. Because last year Suzuki was in it along with our boy Zack Sabre Jr.
Your boy, not my
and
boy,
and
not my boy.
and and, and another guy that was missing was Tamatonga, like a guy
Yeah,
that had a good showing. I thought he would have been in it for sure. I knew that they were gonna be hurting with like Omega and like losing pretty much like 25% of the people that was in it last year. And I knew they were gonna put new people in, but I mean, like I said last week, I guess this is good because it just mixes it up. Me personally, I would think the win loss record should, champions should be in it, but for the ones that are not champions, their win loss record should get them into the G1 to kind of give it a fresh face instead of like the same people. No.
yeah. And I think even Naito touched on that. Like, some guys you're asking, it's supposed to be the greatest of all time, but people are like, ooh, this guy's in.
Right. Because like Lance Archer, for instance, is like, what the hell is he? How the hell did he get in? Like, did he get the golden ticket from the chocolate factory or something? Because I'm just trying to figure that out. Like, where'd that
And
go?
you would have to think that that was Suzuki's spot. Why in the world they would give it to Lance Archer, I have no idea. But
That's true. See,
but if you think about it, Chaos has like 5 members in the G1. Suzuki Gun has 3. Bullet Club only has 2, and
Yes,
LIJ has 4.
right.
So
So that
a big
yeah.
dip.
No, I was gonna say yeah. It shows you where like the stables are, or who are the bedrocks. I mean, Bullet Club in general hasn't had. I mean, since Omega left. I mean, not saying that they've been down, but it wasn't like how it was 2 years ago. Hell, it wasn't like how it was 10 months ago. So, I mean, I get it because when you lose the Young Bucks, Cody, and Kenny, those are big names and those are big draws. And, you know, it, it just showed like how, how they're booked and, with the exception of God, I mean, everyone else is booked up and down other than Chase Owens, who had that semi good showing at the World Cup, but
Yeah.
or the G1.
Oh, yeah, it just goes to show you. Last year, Bullet Club had 4 members, LIJ had 3 members, and Suzuki Gun only had 2 members. So it's definitely a different field when it comes to factions.
Yeah, Chaos felt like they had every member in them.
Oh, definitely last year. They had like, I
Yeah,
remember,
last year felt like every member. Yeah. But then again, they have a bevy of people who are in different divisions, and with the exception of Osprey, who's like so fluid with his divisions. Everyone else, you kind of get a sense of what division they are, their wrestling acumen. So excuse me, so it's no surprise that they get a lot of members. And Lij, I mean, it makes sense for the 5 in there. They're only like 5 or 6 deep to begin with. So it doesn't surprise me that most of their people are in because they're all good tag wrestlers along with being really solid singles competitors.
yeah. Another name that we didn't talk about that I don't even know why we should talk about him, but Yoshihashi, not in the G1, which is kind of a yes moment. But it kind of seemed like these last couple of weeks he actually had a fire lit up his ass. Maybe it was because he wasn't announced in the G1.
I
But
mean, that could be the case, but even with him being in it, was he really a favorite of any? He
no,
was there for that one upset, but he's not a guy where you could say Yoshihashi could win the damn thing.
it's true.
And him being of his weight stature is basically Will Ospreay trading him for Will Ospreay.
That's actually a good
That's how I see
analogy.
it. That's how I saw it. They traded Yoshi for Will Ospreay, and then the other 4 they kind of filled in how I went.
Yeah. And that's just putting a bow on last week's episode. And now it's time to unveil a new segment on Wrestling Wit. We are Wrestling Wit, the hot topic. Now, the hot topic is we'll be talking extensively about this one particular topic. Okay. And that one particular topic was announced 2 days ago that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are now the executive producer of Raw and SmackDown. What are your initial thoughts about this, Kaliko?
Uh, it is not as earth shattering as I think most people make it. In my opinion, because at the end of the day, they're both reporting to Vince McMahon. And to me, as long as he has final say, it's gonna be a roll of the dice. Now they could do things to make things edgy and make people feel important, and so on and so forth. And they're probably just doing this just so they can make the product a little bit more in the gray, not as black as white as it has been. Especially on the Fox aspect, because Fox wants them to see that as a legit sports show. And because keep in mind, Fox put them in to replace the UFC, which was an actual, competition. And the only thing that was killing the UFC was the fact that they didn't have enough stars. They kept trying to make stars, but you weren't going to see John Jones on Fox. You weren't going to see Ronda Rousey on Fox or Conor McGregor because they were going to be pay-per-view. Yep. So Fox is going into this trying to fill a hole where stars are, and they replace the live programming with the live programming. WWE at this point, to me, it seems like WWE, the company, is more the star than the actual stars. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand what you mean.
Like it's not like a defined person who's the face of the company. It's more like a super friends, if you will.
Yeah.
Just for lack of a better friend. It's more like a super friends, like a buffet of people that you can like and you can pick to root for and root against, and then they're all just battling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For belts, pretty much. That's just my thought.
And not even really for belts, honestly.
Yeah, they battling for the money. I don't blame them. Legend at the bank, baby.
Yeah. My first initial thoughts about it is it can't not be good because, Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, like two really great minds of the wrestling business. Yes, but the thing with Paul Heyman, he's good up to an extent. But he's good until you have to filter him a little bit. And Eric Bischoff, just him being in WWE in a creative standpoint is a big deal, considering his background in WCW.
True.
I don't know if he, like I've heard him say things about how the current product is and how to change it, and like it sounds right, but if he's willing to execute that way, it's good. But again, he's kind of like an unknown at this point.
You could say that, but the crowd knows who he is, and and I think they just still have the nostalgia of what happened with ECW and how he took that and made it a thing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I think they're giving him more the benefit of the doubt than maybe Vince is, right? Because everybody shits on Vince, like, oh my God, Vince is this, Vince is that, Vince is this. I'm like, everybody's not gonna be perfect every time, right? And I know that there's gonna be slumps. It happens in everything, in TV shows and so on and so forth. So I think it's good that he has two people who. I think Paul's going to be a guy. Paul and Eric are probably going to be guys that are willing to fight back and not, hold back as much, right? Because Triple H, he's not going to do it because he's going to do it to a certain extent because he has too much respect for him, not only as a man, but as his father-in-law.
Yeah.
Right? So
more like fear.
To have, yeah, I mean, respect, fear, same thing. You either do it out of fear, out of love, one or the other. But to have two people who doesn't have that family connection, and they're good wrestling minds, they could actually tell him where he's going wrong or how things should go. And I think that's what he was missing. Because keep in mind, Laurinaitis was a yes guy, and this is just me going behind the scenes, much as I don't like to. Laurinaitis was a yes guy. Pritchard he'll tell them up to a certain point, but he also understands like, yo, it's your company, you're the boss. You know, you got a lot of people who are like that. Like, hey, I'll tell them to a certain point, but at the end of the day, he writes the checks. So, you know what I mean? He can't. He's got the overarching authority. It's going to be interesting to see how that role plays, but you know, time will tell.
Another interesting point that I'd like to bring up. You got Bruce Pritchard, you got Eric Bischoff, Paul
Mm-hmm.
Heyman,
Mm-hmm.
and Jeff Jarrett. You
Jeff Jarrett,
basically
yep.
you have WWE Attitude, WCW, ECW, and TNA.
Yeah.
Is Vince McMahon doing all this because he's that scared of AEW uh and New Japan coming over, or is this a really long shot attempt to get more ratings? Because I don't remember the last time WWE has done like a 1 million viewers. It was probably in the early 90s. And you know, they're now a multi-billion-dollar company that USA and Fox are paying multi-billion dollars to have them on their network, and they're not giving them the ratings that they want. So when those
Well,
contracts come up, they could say, "Well, you didn't deliver the ratings."
but think about it. What is deliver the ratings? To me, me personally, I don't think ratings now are not what they were 20 years ago. And people need to get that out of their head because ratings is a factor, but it is not the factor. And the reason I say that is that 20 years ago, everyone had a TV, and some people had those Neil scan boxes, which, you know, checked on what people watch and so on and so forth.
And it
But
wasn't very accurate either.
yeah, and it wasn't very accurate. But now, 20 years later, you have so many streaming options, PlayStation, YouTube TV, uh, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick. There's so many streaming activities, and everything is going to the cloud. And one thing I say is because, and the reason I say this is because I'll take a prime example: ESPN, right? ESPN is this big conglomerate of a sports show. Their ratings aren't as great, but their profits are through the roof. And it's because their deals are all with cable companies, and they're under the ABC umbrella, which is a regular TV show syndicate. I think the only thing that's going to get the only things that get solid ratings now are like live sports, like the Super Bowl, the NCAA championships, football, stuff that is played at bars that are going to be on TV regardless, if that makes sense. Because no one's going to go to the bar and be like, hey, let's put some wrestling on a Monday night. You know what I mean? Like, that's
That's
first
not
and
the
foremost.
perfect crime.
I mean, if you're on vacation, sure. I got a bar in Philly to play some wrestling, so trust me, I get it. But I don't think that that's as prevalent as what it used to be because everything is going to a streaming service. I think social media mentions are a bigger influence than TV ratings because if you're watching the show and you're trending on these social media platforms, which is free avenue, you know, free revenue ads, I think that means more so than a streaming than a ratings. And we're gonna learn that the hard way because people keep talking about AEW, and I'm like, okay, AEW, but they're on TNT. And TNT is not Fox. Fox is a regular show that is, or not a regular show, but a regular TV station that everyone can get.
That's
Not
true.
everybody got TNT. You see what I'm saying? Because TNT is more of a cable subscription. You see what I'm saying? And then we're gonna see, because everybody's gonna be like, well, AEW is their first year and their ratings aren't as, because everybody's going into it thinking that they should pull a 13.5, or they're not gonna pull what they did in the 90s.
Yeah.
They're not gonna pull at all, and that's just me saying that. But what they can do is have a decent ratings review on top of a trending social media platform, and those things combined is a bigger goal. Because keep in mind, USA could have cut them off back like 5-6 years ago. You see what I'm saying? But they kept Raw for a reason. You see what I'm saying? They could have got rid of Raw because they didn't keep SmackDown. They kept Raw.
Well, yeah, it's been the staple. It's essentially the ASO. And
It is the A, but you can make the argument that it hasn't been popping like that for like the last 4 or 5 years.
No, you could even go back 10 years.
Yeah.
I've always kind of preferred SmackDown. No, that's just me.
I mean, me too, because SmackDown was more of the wrestling show.
Yeah.
And plus it's 2 hours, so it's not like a drag like 3 hours.
But even when when Raw was 2 hours and SmackDown was 2 hours, it's still SmackDown was still the ASO to me.
Well, Paul ran it about 10-15 years ago. He hasn't ran it since.
Exactly.
But we'll see what Paul and Eric do. I think they're gonna try to do things to make the show more edgy and more reality based, and it's showing, because as you can see, they're pushing freaking Becky and Seth Rollins' relationship like it's TMZ up in that motherfucker. I'm surprised they didn't do that with Charlotte and damn Andrade yet. But I mean, they're kind of trying to go more reality based, and if you're looking at the how they talk, everything is more real, and it's a good thing, because you don't want it to sound scripted. You want them to be like, yo, I bet your girl ain't doing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You see someone saying that in a bar. You want the stuff to be more relatable to people, as in, hell, I'll whoop his ass too if he says something about my girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
but I was thinking, like, when Bruce Pritchard came back, I was like, all right, this is gonna be great. WWE's gonna change somewhat. He's gonna bring in fresh new ideas, and for the most part, the show's exactly the same. Heck, we've talked about, Mitch broke the story that Bruce Pritchard was the one that came up with the 24/7 title. And that's essentially the most entertaining thing on Raw and SmackDown at this point.
yeah, it has. But then again, keep in mind, the reason it is because the title is going beyond the show, right? And they're allowing, and this is why I like, people always say, oh yeah, creative, blah, 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 blah. They're letting R-Truth be as creative as he want to be, because that dude is bringing in more viral moments through social media. Like, if you've seen the videos that dude has been doing, like having the title sleeping in, this dude there was a video where he was literally in the, like the overhead of the plane.
Yeah.
He was sleeping in the overhead of the plane with the title. You know what I mean? Like, little stuff like that. Like, people don't think, and that's funny, because a month ago everybody was like, oh my god, that title fucking sucks, and now it's like the greatest fucking thing ever, because you see how the talent is allowed to put their idea into it. You know what I mean? I think it was more like everybody think it's a jobber title. I think it was more like an idea title, to let R-Truth be creative, to let a Drake Maverick be creative, to let a EC3 be creative. You know what I mean? As in how to promote the company. Because, like I said, the company is not one face; it's a multitude now.
Yeah, and you're essentially right. It is kind of like the Jobber title, but these guys are really they're putting more effort into a title that essentially means close to next to nothing than the guys that are wrestling for the WWE and Universal Championship. And that just
Mm-hmm.
shows it goes to show you who really wants it.
Mm-hmm. But it also goes to show you who they're allowing to put the trust in to have that creative output, right? Because R-Truth, no one could. R-Truth's career in WWE, it had its flashes, but it's been average, right? We could be real about that. But to allow someone like that to have the creative freedom, and he's getting these viral moments, and I could say he's bigger than Seth Rollins right now. I really can.
I agree with that.
because
Yeah.
the content he's putting out, and it's going to social media where it's getting retweeted and reshared.
It's getting
That is
viewed by for more people. More people are
right.
seeing it.
More people are seeing that because we're no longer, and that's why I keep trying to tell people, we're not a nation that the only thing we sit through really for 2-3 hours are sports events. Everything else is like snippets. And the last show that I can name, the last 3 shows that I know people actually sat through and watched from pillar to post were Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and Walking Dead. Those were the only 3 shows that I've seen people say, okay, I will sit and watch this, right? From beginning to end, and I don't want no spoilers posted, right?
Yep.
We're beyond those 3 shows, everything else is a highlight. It's a highlight thing now. It's getting that highlight and getting it put on social media so it could get shared more time because our attention spans are not what it used to be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that happened with Snapchat because now it's no longer a 3-minute video. It's a minute clip. It's a 30-second clip. It's a 5-second clip. It's a 10-second clip of somebody being stupid. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those things catch our attentions and is ingrained in our memories more than a storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
And
right.
that's something that's not really, and that's something that the 24/7 title is effectively doing. It's basically keeping WWE in your mind even when you're not watching the show because they know you may not pay attention to Raw for 3 hours, but I'm pretty sure you're on Twitter and you're looking at R-Truth running, in the trunk of a car with the title as the show's going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, without doubt.
It's an extension of the show, and that's why I keep trying to tell. That's what I tell people. Like it's no longer that rating shit. You got to put that to the side because it's a factor, but it's not the factor that it once was.
Yeah. And you said that that ratings aren't going to be the 13 point whatever like they used to have.
Oh yeah, no.
Do you think that they'll at least get back to the 8?
I don't think so. And the reason being because everybody's cutting cords now. It's unless they find a way to be able to track how different streaming content is being watched, like what content is being watched the most from Hulu and PlayStation and YouTube TV. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not really in the ratings game. They're just more in the let's get this content out.
Yeah.
And see where the chips may lay, right? Because keep in mind, if it wasn't for Game of Thrones, HBO, no one would have HBO. You see what I'm saying? People were just subscribing to HBO just for Game of Thrones, right? But as soon as Game of Thrones ended, okay, we're cutting that subscription, right?
I didn't
Like
hear that
that.
anybody cut their HBO subscription.
Oh shit! That was especially after this last episode. That was shit. Everyone just like we cutting that shit short. But that's not, and that's the point I'm trying to make. It's a digital game now. It's not that sitting in your living room with that big ass TV box with that big ass cable box because no one really has a cable box anymore. Like think about that. Like everything is cloud based. So unless they could find a way to allow the FCC to get into all these different cloud bases, which I heavily doubt, I don't see there's no way they can accurately do it other than, oh, well, yeah, some people still have TV and then they'll watch it, right?
Well, I
But
think if they get that next Stone Cold, that next Hulk Hogan, which they haven't, that guy is just not out there at this point. I'm not saying they'll never find another guy like that again, but as of right now, they don't have him. They won't get those ratings, but once they find that guy, I think they might get those ratings back. If somebody's
I
gonna
don't.
be like, I have to see what he's gonna do right now, right this moment, I think they could do it.
I don't think so because now it's at a point where WWE is the focal point. It's no longer about the wrestlers being the star. At this point, WWE is the star. And I think, and I'll give you an example because think about it. Their last four great bigger name than the company stars all left for Hollywood. John Cena, Batista, The Rock, Stone Cold, right?
Yeah.
So they see how The Rock went and made a name for himself. They see how Cena's going to make a name for himself in Hollywood. And they're trying to keep it to where we'll give the stars some exposure to this TV stuff, but we don't want them to be bigger than what the company is itself. And it shows. It truly shows. Just based on how, like, okay, oh, Rome, because think about it, they have a stacked ass talent card. You could make a case for at least 20 people in that company being the face of that company, but they're going with the impression that no one's bigger than the company. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's wrong. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, everybody has their opinion about it, but I'll give you this. I'll give you this little nugget here. We can make the argument that wrestling is more popular today than what it was, I'd say, 5 years ago, right?
Yes.
There's more wrestling on TV today than there was 5 years ago, right?
There's going to be obviously when a Double or Nothing comes.
Yeah, true.
AEW.
I'm AEW, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like as far as like TV, like getting TV wrestling product to a TV content, there's more wrestling today than there was about 2005.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
So think of that. All those companies, but yet there's not one star that could break out between all of those things.
It's
all this content is getting filled, but yet not one company has that one person that is above. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that.
You could maybe make the argument that maybe Kenny Omega, but
he's a wrestling name. He's not a common name.
True.
The biggest star in wrestling right now is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar are the two biggest stars.
I don't think they're bigger than the company.
I think so. I think so. Because Ronda Rousey at one point was the most popular MMA fighter on earth, and then Brock Lesnar was at one point the most hated MMA fighter on earth. But those
Then
two,
why didn't they get those ratings? Why didn't they get everything that you just talked about? The 8-point rating, the 1 billion social media follows, all of that. If they
oh,
were so
I'd say
big,
the social media was there, but I don't think the eyeballs will be there because one, them coming from a world of UFC and there's this divide with UFC and WWE because
yeah,
UFC see themselves as the ultimate fighting combat thing and the thing that is so real and that everything else is fake, right? Like they poo-pooed the hell out of Brock Lesnar when he got there. And then when he won the title, they were like, oh shit. But WWE signed him thinking that they could get a couple of eyeballs over there, the same way they signed Ronda Rousey thinking they could get a couple of eyeballs over there. And they got, and for the most part, they do. But once again, they're using them as a tool to get them to look at the product and not to make them above the company. Because that's why Ronda Rousey's like, fuck it, I can leave when I want. When I want. But not everyone else can leave when they want.
now, alright, let's get back to Bischoff and Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to Paul Heyman and Bischoff. They, do you think that there'll be a significant amount of change to raise the viewership of Raw and SmackDown?
It depends on how much of a leash Vince is giving them. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's basically the determining factor. How much leeway is Vince willing to give Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff to do the things and to make the changes to make it see them to get that. And even with that, I still don't see them going from like like ones and twos. If they go from a 1 and 2 to like a 2.53, that's pretty decent. But it's not going to go from a 2 to a 12.
Yeah, no. Even if they got all these guys already, hey, why don't they just like complete the whole circle and bring back Vince Russo and Jim Cornette, just for the hell of it?
Because then there'd be a real fight in the parking lot between Vince and Jim. And the one thing I will say is that Vince Russo gets a lot of shit, some of it rightfully so. But the one thing that he did that hasn't been done to this day is that he made every story matter. Every character mattered. Every character blended into some kind of story, right? It was like a 6 degrees of separation. And that's the one thing I like that he did. He made every character and every story just as important, because I can make the argument now. WWE, their top creative guys are probably just focusing on the Universal title, the WWE title, maybe Brock Lesnar, and everything else is like to the wayside, right?
True.
Vince made everything matter. Like, if he made D'Lo Brown versus Mark Henry matter, you see what I'm saying? Like, it mattered, right?
Of course.
So that's what I liked about him. As much as he gets shit, and rightfully
It may
so.
have not made sense, but at least you knew what was going on with that character.
Exactly. Nothing was out of the blue, and plus it carried over and it blended in, right? So that's where another thing. So like one story from that guy could go to another guy. That's what I like about New Japan, because New Japan is kind of like that. Like with certain people, like they make the story matter. Like when Naito had his shit, where he was getting booed and they stole the main event from him, and then he leaves, comes back, becomes a whole different guy, and now he's like the top guy in the business. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
the story mattered. Like, you saw the arc. The same with Kenny Omega, the whole arc from him, and in his story with Kota Ibushi, it all circled back. And I think that's a hard thing that WWE's not doing. They're going telling a story, then changing the story, and then acting like we never forgot the story. But when in actuality, I can see why they do it, because they see, oh yeah, everybody's just on clips and shit, clips and highlights and shit. So why would they care about the story? But there are people that care about the story. You see what I'm saying? So it's a really game to play.
Nobody remembers it, pal. Just move on.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think about Undertaker coming back and tag teaming with Roman Reigns to fight Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon? This is a bad idea, right?
So the guy, first off, I'm pissed off at the Undertaker because, god damn it, when he retired and I was there and that motherfucker had everybody crying and everybody was trying to buy the goddamn plaque frame, because there's an Undertaker plaque frame that they came out with. And they fucking got it. Because I went and bought that bitch. Everybody was trying to buy that bitch. And then he comes back the next year and now he's wrestling full time. Way to devalue my fucking collector shit, Undertaker. Got beef with you. That's one. Number two, so you're telling me the guy that Undertaker got his ass kicked at WrestleMania from, he's going to come back and team up with him to go against Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, right?
Yeah.
It makes no sense why he would do it. Other than the fact that everybody kept saying backstage that Drew McIntyre is a guy that the Undertaker wanted to work with. Other than that, story-wise, it makes no fucking sense at all.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
But now
it doesn't.
It doesn't. And now you got people thinking, oh, they're bringing the Undertaker back because it's a ratings thing. And I'm like, and I just told you 10 minutes ago, it's not as what it used to be.
It's just, I don't need to see Undertaker like that anymore. It's hard to watch.
It is. But he's of that school. And it's funny because there's a video showing him in 2002 saying, I don't want to be the guy wrestling just to hold on. And look what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Wrestling to hold on.
Yeah, that's he needs to pack it up now. It's time to go home.
True, but he's of that mindset, bitch. I'll go, and he's from Texas, so I know he had that mindset, bitch. I'll go home when I'm ready to go home, and I bet you that's what he's doing. Like,
well, I mean,
as long as he feel like
the man's basically more robot than man now, so why just with the body parts you have intact, let them be. It's kind of like Tanahashi. Like, it's time to rest now.
True. But there's a lot of things I have with that issue, because everybody that sits there, every person that pops when the Undertaker comes back are the same people who be like, when fucking Shane McMahon does something good or somebody old comes back and wins, oh my God, they need to let the new people, get their shine. But yet they still want the Undertaker wrestle. Like, bro, like, we're fickle. We are fucking fickle. Straight up, we're fickle. We're fickle. Like, we fickle ass people.
Without a doubt.
Unfortunately. Shit.
Alright, that will wrap up the hot topic for now. And now it's time to get into our next topic. We are wrestling with Wrestling Danteku. It took place Tuesday, June 25th, and Sendai Sun Plaza Hall. And the first match out was Kojima and Tenzan versus Yoda Suchi and Yuji Nagata. The match lasted 8 minutes and 44 seconds, and Tenzan beat Yoda Suchi with the Anaconda Vice.
I mean, what you expect? Nagata at this point is like, he's just wrestling for the respect and to like pass on what he got to the next generation. I mean,
Well, he wants to wrestle till he's 70.
Shit, he damn well could in New Japan because they'll let him wrestle till he dies, like straight up. But yeah, it's just more or less he's a name. So when someone beats him, it's a big deal because Nagata was the man in his heyday. So
yeah,
I mean, but hell,
for a 50-year-old man, he still looks pretty good, and I don't see any signs of him slowing down until he gets to 70. You know what I mean?
You mean unlike Ric Flair? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, but maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I ain't Coelco.
Maybe they should just get Ric Flair over that bitch, and then or the Undertaker over that bitch, since he wants to wrestle till he's fucking forever. So there you go.
Yeah, whatever. It's funny that we're saying, yeah, I could see him wrestle till he's 70, and like the Undertaker's 50, and like he needs to retire yesterday.
Exactly, but it's two different body types. Because Undertaker's like damn near 7 foot, so it takes a bigger toll on those long legs than Nagata, who's probably more 6-ish. So,
and just to put into perspective, the Rock and Roll Express, they're in their late hundreds now, and they're still wrestling.
They were just at the Crockett Cup. So yeah,
they had a barn burner with the Briscoes. Like, not a lot of young talent could say that they had that with the Briscoes, let alone somebody that's in their 80s now.
That's facts. But yet those same people will be like, Goldberg, get the fuck home. And I'm like, what? Like, Goldberg's at least 30 years younger. What are you talking about? Like, what's wrong with you?
But Goldberg could never have wrestled to begin with, so there's not a lot of comparison there.
True, but I'm just going by age. When you look at the age gap, and it's funny how we give leeways to 70-year-old Rock and Roll Express, but don't give leeway to a 50-year-old pretty still Jack Goldberg.
It's apples and oranges at this point with that comparison.
More like apples and bananas. Apples is steak. That's the difference. Apples and a steak. Those are the difference.
Or could you slice the apple and put it on top of the steak?
I mean, you never know. As long as that steak's medium rare, you can do whatever you want, baby.
Hot damn. All right, let's get into the next. Let's get into the next match. Ren Narita, Sota Uno, Homa, Togi Makabe, and Kota Bushi took on Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Sanada, Evil, and Tatsuya Naito. The match lasted 11 minutes and 6 seconds, and Shingo defeated Narita with no Shigami. After the match, Evil continues not doing the LIJ fist bump. Why is Evil being so difficult?
Because Tagachi there taking his place. That's why. God damn it. That's why. Got that guy taking his spot. They got the guy who's like the fire taking his goddamn spot. So I don't blame him. I mean, we had this happen before, right? Like Evil was the one doing that shit, and then he came to his senses. So I'm thinking it could be just something where they but keep in mind we still got our boy with the broken neck. He's supposed to be coming back anytime soon. So
yeah, I thought, okay, definitely for Super Juniors. Then no Super Juniors. Then, okay, definitely after the Super Juniors. Then no him. What is he doing? I think Mitch said that he's clear. So what are they waiting to pull the trigger with him?
Um, that's a good question because if he's clear, I think it's probably a mental thing. You know what I mean? It's the same way, like, especially with like something sensitive as the neck, right? Like, because he broke his neck in the match, finished the match. You see what I'm saying? And then came back. So
Yeah.
it could be more of a mental block where he just feels like he needs to take that first hit, right, to be better. It's the same thing with like an NFL player tearing their ACL. Like they're
The best
not
thing is get back in the ring.
right when they get back. They'll be timid for a bit until they take that first pop, and then they'll be like, okay, it's good. It held up. Because there's always that block, like it's not as strong as it used to be. So I could see that happening. Or they're waiting for a good time. Maybe maybe Bushi betrays him, and then my man comes back and makes it whole again. Who knows?
Maybe.
You know.
But hypothetically, that's a good thing to say, because hypothetically speaking, when Evil wrestles Sonata in the G1, Sonata will probably, ask him for the fist bump. If Evil doesn't go for the fist bump, is there an issue there?
I'm gonna say no because we've seen, well, I've seen Evil like where he wasn't as engaged as it wasn't doing the fist bump, so I wouldn't see it as a big of a deal. Bushi, he seemed more loyal than Evil. Evil was more like in a slump and was trying to figure it out where he was going to be and so on and so forth. So I don't see it being a big deal with Evil as it would be Bushi because they already ran it with Evil.
But Bushi, it kind of seems like Bushi is kind of like the gel that keeps LIJ together. He's like the mascot at this point of LIJ.
Yeah, ever since Takahashi left, yeah, you can make that argument because to me the glue was Naito and Takahashi. So because those two, no matter what, were tight, and they're practically the most LIJ out of the LIJs, if that makes sense.
Are you saying that they're the most ungovernable out of all of them?
Oh hell yeah! when you could get a stuffed cat over, you are so ungovernable, yo. Like when you know what I'm saying? Like and everybody knows about Naito. Naito just don't give a fuck. He throwing the belt, breaking the belt. He tried to pawn the bitch. Like
yeah,
you can't get more ungovernable than you trying to pawn your belt, yo. Like so. I mean, just saying.
Yeah, no, I buy that. But how less ungovernable could you be with a name like Evil?
True. But Evil is like they treat Evil better as a tag than as a single. And it shows.
Could be said about Sonata.
But at least Sonata has that look, and he has that look and that physique where the girls are going crazy for Sonata. I don't see any girls going crazy for Evil. I'm just saying.
Maybe those gothic emo girls that like
the emo,
dark eyeliner.
The Hot Topic chicks are going for Evil. Like, is that what you're trying to say?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Evil! I like. Oh my god, I love what the Japanese crowd kills me with that. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Was did I know you were at the Long Beach show the second night, the first time. Did
Oh,
you
both
hear?
nights.
Yeah, but did you hear that girl? She came from Japan, and she was saying "Tanahase, Tanahase."
Yes.
You heard her?
Like in that corner, like, because you know how like they have those. They don't have it north, south, east, west. They have it north. They have it like north, northwest, south, southwest. Like the way the seating is using that little corner spot, front row.
Well, I got news for you, Coelco. I was in the next row. I was in the next aisle next to her.
Oh
So,
god, that's gotta fucking
so
like you're surprised your eardrums weren't bleeding.
well, thank God I was far enough for it not to be.
Thank God your eardrum, man. God, it just was not stopping.
Yeah. And then like my whole aisle was they joined in like Tanahase.
I know.
People got into it.
And then and it's not like they were saying it at the same time. It would be like one person saying it, then the next person saying it, then the next person saying it. So it's just like you're getting waterboarded with this fucking like, yeah. I love, shout out to the Japanese fans, man. I love y'all, but man, that wrestling boy, whoo, gotta put some fucking earplugs for you, motherfucker.
All right,
Especially
next match on the card, Mikey Nichols and Juice Robinson defeated Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. Mikey Nichols pinned Tangaloa with a backslide in 8 minutes and 21 seconds. This was definitely the shocker, what the fuck moment of the card.
Yeah, especially with, but it is, but it wasn't, because God fucking ran through everybody. So who the hell else they gonna bring up? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, not just Robinson and Mikey Nichols.
You never know. You never know.
All due respect for Mikey Nichols and Juice Robinson. You know, Juice should be going on to bigger and better things. You know, you don't just have a match with John Moxley tear the house down, and then I'm gonna tag team with Mikey Nichols. All due respect to Mikey Nichols.
I get it, but I just something for them to do, man. God done. Who's gonna be the next challengers for God? Because they done ran through everybody.
I know, but like there's a reason you have young lions. There's a reason that you go out on you look for other talents in other places. You know, look for them. There's other tag teams out there in the world.
But with even with the young lions, like you're not gonna take them seriously against like a group like G.
No, I mean the ones that are coming back from excursion, like Roppongi 3K. They came back, they won the championships immediately.
But aren't they still in the juniors though?
What? It's just an example. You know, but
that's my point.
Nobody was coming for Taguchi and Ricochet, so they gave them competition. They brought back Roppongi 3K, the Tempura boys as Roppongi 3K, and they put them over immediately.
But Roppongi 3K got like, Roppongi 3K got that clout because they've been like feuding with the Young Bucks. So I mean,
their first night in the company, they won the championships from Taguchi and Ricochet. So
Yeah, but Taguchi and Ricochet is not a God. You see what I'm saying? Even with them beating a Taguchi and a Ricochet, they weren't taken seriously until like they beat the Young Bucks.
true, but they still got that rocket tied to their ass to the point where they got the championships in their first night in the company. They
Man,
could
please, the one
they
I
have
get
some
what you're
heavyweight young lions out on excursion right now, like I know Kitamura. So bring them back, put them against God, give them some competition.
I think God waiting on the Briscoes. I think they're gonna run that back, especially after how that shit went down in New York City. They running that shit back, especially when Enzo and fucking Cass comes in. They running that shit back, yo.
That match in general was just a clusterfuck, but
I mean, true. I mean, that show though, ROH like kind of got outshined by New Japan. It was like you could tell the difference. Well, who was New Japan and who was Ring of Honor?
yeah. Alright, next match on the card, uh, Towa Anare and Tanahashi went up against Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, and Jay White. Jay White pinned Hanare in 11 minutes and 8 seconds with Blade Runner.
I think that was a give. That was a give Jay White some momentum.
Yeah, going into the G1. Good
He
to see
definitely
Yujiro
needs
back.
it. He needs it.
Yeah,
And I'll give you this: if they put a rocket ship to his ass and have him become the second Gaijin to win the G1, fuck that. I give him props for that because they owe him. Personally, I think they fucking owe him because he took one for the team. He took a mean one for the team.
yeah, I think he took maybe the biggest one.
Yeah, because that
And,
easily could have been Okada. And I mean Omega losing to Okada in New York if Omega was still there.
Yeah, and it's good to see Yujiro back. I think he had a broken jaw or something, but he's back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully he came back quicker than well, never mind. I'm gonna shut up.
No, say what you gotta say.
No, because that's my boy. I love Takahashi. I love Takahashi.
Well, maybe your insulting words will put a fire up his ass to come back.
I mean, shit. What could be the worst? I guess. Bring back my cat, man. I miss him.
You have a Daryl?
I love him. I loved it, and that was a viral moment. And that was a viral moment too. Like when Bad Luck Fale tore up the fucking stuffed cat. Oh my god, that was all over social media, yo.
Like, do you have one of the cats?
No. Okay. That was the worst. But anyways, next match.
Tiger Mask, Gibson Thunder Lago, Toro Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kazuchika Okada took on Doki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, Lance Archer, and Minoru Suzuki. The match lasted 11 minutes and 53 seconds, and Tomohiro beat Doki with a vertical brainbuster.
The Jushin Thunder Liger retirement show continues. But it was also to make Ishii look like a formidable guy in the tournament. Unfortunately, he's not gonna win. But I mean, it just that's the one thing I like about New Japan. They protect their champs by putting them in these tag matches where, like, less wear and tear on everybody's bodies. Unlike WWE, where they want everything one-on-one. Or it's one-on-one, and then it'll turn into an 8-man tag. And I'm like, why don't you just do the 8-man tag? Like, it's not hard. Not that hard. But that's one good thing. It preserves their bodies because their style is fucking brutal. And I like that because when the champs are wrestling by themselves, it means more to me.
Yeah.
Seems like it means more than what WWE or hell, even most of American wrestling does. Like, where they'll have the champ wrestle a non-title match and fuck around, get beat, and then the feud starts, rather than like have the champ lose in a tag match. The dude's like, yo, I think I can beat you one-on-one. And it just shows that there's different levels to it, right? Like, that's just how I see it. But
yeah, no, the way New Japan does it is definitely a lot smarter than the way WWE kind of rationalizes it.
right,
I think that's a good word, rationalize. And obviously Dookie made an impression during the Super Juniors because they brought him back right away. Okay, so clearly a new member of Suzuki Gun that sustained.
true.
Yeah. Minoru Suzuki was like, "What's that I smell? Dookie."
Dookie.
You know that's from No Holds Barred, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. But I tried to do my best Japanese version, and it came out bad. But I can't go, bad luck, fella. Okada Kazuchika. Yeah, I can do that. See?
It kind of comes from the throat. Like you have to you have to kind of scratch your throat with it.
Oh, so just like down a bag full of nails and then say it. Got it.
Yeah. Like
got you.
Okay.
Yeah, see, you're better than it. You're better than me. Okada Kazuchika.
All right. Let's get to the next match.
Next match.
El Phantasmo defended the British Cruiserweight Championship against Ryusuke Taguchi in 24 minutes and 4 seconds. El Phantasmo successfully retained with the CR2. This is just to show that Taguchi, when he wants to turn it on, he turns it on.
True. That's true. But I also think I think that was like the preview how he would handle in a, because it's just to show, like, highlight him heading into the G1. He's gonna be a player. He's gonna be a player, even if he doesn't win the block. I think he's gonna be that tough out that no one will. Taguchi.
Taguchi's not in the G1.
Oh, damn. Tagachi is the other one. Damn it. Motherfucker. See? There you go. You sound the goddamn same.
The guy that comes with the football every week that likes to.
Oh, and the helmet. Yes. Yes. See? I get them confused sometimes. My bad, America. My bad, Japan. But hell, anywho. I thought it was going to be a way to show that guy, but wrong guy.
Yeah. I think he showed himself during that LIJ match that he won.
That is true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have had him double duty. But either then the rum's kicking in. So either one or the other.
Are you saying it's rum time?
Oh, it's rum time every time. But yeah, 30 minutes, man. That's a long time. Phantasmo's really good though. I really like his style. I will say that.
He's kind of
Phantasmo.
a shithead, just the way he acts, but he is not a bad wrestler.
Yeah, he's not a bad wrestler. Like, hell, give him some clout on that.
Yeah.
Hell, someone thought that he was going to win their block of the Super Juniors. I'm not going
I
to say the
thought he
name.
was.
I'm not going to say a name, but someone thought he was going to win this block.
You know, he was looking pretty good until he dropped 3 in a row.
Yeah. So.
Fucking Rocky Romero.
Hey, he came out of retirement for that shit.
But yeah, Phantasmo obviously a hit in Japan now. You know, they give him a major singles match before the G1.
And for a
that wasn't
title. For that.
Yeah. And for the G1, before the G1, that wasn't a Super Juniors match. So it just goes to show you that, and they gave him the junior heavyweight championships, defeating Roppongi 3K with Ishimori. So they're really hot on Phantasmo right now.
Yeah, but I think I think that's good as far as like contrasting styles because they do a really good job of bringing in really great like Mexican wrestlers, like especially like from AAA, and having them go against the hard hitting style because like styles make fights, and he's the guy who's more of a high flyer than a stiff, a stiff fucking hitter. And it just shows like the different contrasts between like nations to me.
Yeah.
And he's the guy they can work with and they can kind of push him in and it's all working. It's all working together. But
the next match, Zack Sabre Jr. defended the British Heavyweight Championship and his G1 Climax spot against Yoshihashi. Yoshihashi ran down to the ring and tripped and fell, and the match never took place. No, I'm joking.
I mean that would be fitting.
Zack Sabre Jr. retained in 23 minutes with a submission.
I think that was just a reason just to give Zack Sabre Jr. Like this shows basically show everybody that they could be a threat in this classic because no one was thinking Yoshihashi was gonna fucking win that. I mean, first the British Heavyweight Championship. Hey, there's no fucking way that we're gonna let that happen. And then 2, the G1 Climax spot. They like Yoshi, you had like 15 million chances. You ain't do shit, man. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Well,
so.
You gotta give him an A for effort. He tried to get his ass back into that G1 spot.
Oh, because he had the fire in his ass and he just...
Yeah, and then, it caught on fire and then he tripped and fell and hurt himself and he couldn't finish the match.
Yeah. I mean, that would be something Toru Yano would do, though.
But Yano would win the match.
With a roll up? Yeah.
I'm on fire. Roll up.
Roll up. Holy shit, I'm burning. Roll up, man. Like, yeah. That would be something Yano would pull out of his ass. But, I mean, that was never a question. I mean, they just did it to make it seem like that. But, I mean, considering that Sabre Jr.'s like in a block where it's So they gotta make some of these people look good heading in, because it's gonna be a bitch. It's gonna be hard to see, especially like if they get the wins now. When they lose, it's gonna be a bitch. Because hell, I remember when Juice was going through the G1 and he was taking the losses tough. Even though we all know it's premeditated, but whatever. He took it tough. I mean, you could see the frustration on his face.
And and that was coming off of title victory. So maybe that will show Zack Sabre that he might not do too well in this G1. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm hoping, honestly.
I mean, we already got it locked in. We already know who's winning. Sonata.
And his block, you mean, right?
Oh, he's winning. Come on, bro. I think he's winning the whole thing. I think Sonata Jay White, Sonata wins.
Last week you said no. You did say Sonata. I say Kota Ibushi and Jay White.
Yeah, you did Ibushi and Jay White. Jay White will win.
Yeah, I was on the fence about Sonata, but I think I'm going with Ibushi.
Huh?
That will do it for Kizuna Road for now we're going to be wrestling with the Fighter Festival with AEW. I can't believe Mitch missed this. He has to be missing for him to miss this.
I know, because this is like his baby. Oh my God, AEW's second show, and it's gonna be on fucking fire. It's gonna be
Let's go. Let's check out the matches and maybe give our predictions. It's going on as we speak. These matches. So as we speak, it's probably some of these matches might already be over. All right.
No, it's tomorrow. Fighter Fest is tomorrow.
Coelco, kayfabe, Coelco.
Kayfabe. Oh, it's going on right now. Hold on. I pulled a Baron Corbin. Let me redo that. Fighter Fest happening live as we speak, and we're going to give you inside predictions on who's going to win and why. Better?
All right, the pre-show match: SCU versus Private Party versus Best Friend. Winner advances to All Out for a shot at the first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship tournament.
SCU.
Yeah, SCU.
Because I see SCU winning to get the bye, but I can see Best Friends winning the tournament, if that makes sense.
I could see maybe Private Party winning. They especially if they want to put them over.
We'll see. I'm thinking Best Friends.
Right. Hardcore match: Michael Nakazawa versus Jabali.
Jabali.
Yeah, Jabali.
Oh. Nakazawa is gonna walk down that aisle and they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?" That's practically what's gonna happen. Like, as much as I hate to say it.
You know what? I could see Matt Jackson coming down and costing Michael the match.
You think so?
Yeah. Alright, the actual card, non-pre-show. Christopher Daniels versus Chima.
Daniels. He's a better technical wrestler.
I'm going with Chima.
I'm going with Daniels, because I mean, this is AEW show. They gotta fucking put their boy. They put everyone over who's AEW. Fuck, like, why not? Like, shit.
Well, we'll see how I think this is actually a really good show to see where everybody's at. But in my mind, it makes sense to put Chima over Daniels because he lost to Daniels at Double or Nothing, and he's wrestling Kenny Omega at Fight for the Fallen.
To make him look like formidable,
Yes.
I can see it. I can see it, but I see that they already got their heavyweight title match. Shit. I'm assuming with the tag titles that they're gonna either crown them at All Out, or how they're gonna continue that tournament, because that's gonna be an interesting thing.
They're starting the tournament on TV during when they get on TV in September or October.
Oh, hooray! That's good. Oh, something to keep them hooked in on, right? Make wins and losses matter and all that other stuff they can do.
Next match, Yuka Sakazai.
Sakazaki. Yuka Sakazaki
versus Riho versus Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose. Just because of the whole inclusion angle, Pride Month. It'll be good for her to get that just based on those two things alone, just to show that they're inclusive. Even though Nyla Rose gets like shit, which I don't know why, but whatever.
Next match, Adam Page versus MJF versus Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc.
This was a hard one because MJF has been the hottest guy as far as like getting social media reactions, but Adam Page is their number one contender for the title.
But that's why you have Jungle Boy and Jimmy Havoc in there.
Yeah, but someone's going to take the pin. I mean, true, Jungle Boy is probably going to take the pin. But I'm just like debating on who the fuck is going to do the pinning and for Adam Page. And I'm thinking Adam Page just because they got to make him look like he's getting ready for Jericho.
Yeah, and a loss, a non-pinfall loss isn't going to hurt him, in my mind.
If he's not involved in the kill him, but
and I think this is more so to start the rivalry between MJF and Jungle Boy and Jimmy Havoc for later, rather than progress a storyline with Adam Page. It's just, hey, Adam Page is in this match.
Yeah, his destiny is set, as I say.
Yeah. Next match, Cody versus Darby Allin.
Cody.
Well, what's Cody's favorite vegetable, Coelco?
Squash.
I love that. Non-sanctioned match: Jon Moxley versus Joey Janela.
Non-sanctioned is just another word for anything goes. I think this is Moxley's like CZW match, except he's not in CZW. But Mox has to get the win. He's fucking over like Rover. And Moxley is the bigger name, but I'm also thinking over under. Will he come out with the New Japan United States Championship? That is
a good question.
That's the question I want to know. Is he coming out as the United States champion, Jon Moxley, or just some random motherfucker named Jon Moxley? That is the question I want to know.
If you're asking me, Jon Moxley is not a random name. You would specifically have to look for a name like Jon Moxley.
I mean, true, but I'm also going off the fact that at Double or Nothing, they had a tag team match for the AAA tag titles. Like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm looking for that inclusion of titles, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Well, it
like,
doesn't say over here, like on the card sheet I'm looking at, it doesn't say IWGP United States Champion John Moxley.
true, but it also did say AAA champion Young Bucks for Double or Nothing. That shit just popped out the blue. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So
And
like, I want to see what they're gonna do with that, because especially based on the fact that AEW pulled their card like I thought they were, and wasn't gonna let his ass wrestle in the fucking United States.
yeah, the next match on the card, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, collectively known as the Elite, are taking on Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, and Laredo Kid, my bad. Laredo Kid.
Um, uh, Omega and the Bucks, because Omega needs the win. I think he pins Laredo by Pentagon and Phoenix. I think it's just a means to get the Bucks Pentagon Phoenix feud going without either of those guys getting pinned, especially considering that the Bucks are, if I'm not mistaken, they're still the AAA Tag Champs.
No, they lost them.
Oh, okay, that's what I figured. I was like, to my recollection. So they did lose them. So it's a continue. So yeah, Omega and the Bucks then. That explains that one.
To be fair, it is Kenny Omega's show. He put this together.
True, because it is. Yeah, it is. It's his baby. So it would make sense if he wins. This is streaming free, so we'll see how it goes. I
have a long shot of analogies that's probably not going to happen, but it'd be really fun or cool that it actually did happen.
What, the show streaming free?
No, the match between the Bucks and Omega versus the Lucha Bros. I have something that I think is fun that I just thought up.
Oh, they got to continue that, because for some odd reason, they got to hold on to some kind of martyrdom of tag team, especially since their tag team tournament is not going to start until August or October rather. So they got to get, and we're assuming the Bucks and the Lucha Bros are in the tournament. Yeah. Or at least that's to my knowledge. And that wouldn't be surprised if that was a first round match. So
this is what I'm thinking. Matt Jackson costs Michael Nakazawa the match against Jabali.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in the card, Michael Nakazawa attacks Matt Jackson. Pentagon package pile drives him, gets the pin.
I can see it, but considering this show is basically like, other than the tag match, everything else is not really building to nowhere.
In some regards, it's building because the next show's Fight for the Fallen, obviously in July. I think that's the 13th.
Speaking of which, I got a bone to pick with Kenny on that. Like, bro, AEW complains that WWE went bed with Evolve and did a 10th anniversary show, all because it's on the day of their charity show. That's business 101. Don't throw punches if you can't take them, fam. That's what I always tell people, man. Don't throw no punches if you can't take them.
Coelco, they're throwing stones at WWE. What about New Japan? The second night of the G1 is on the 13th.
Yeah, so July 13th. No, wait a minute, is it? Because New Japan's like July 5th and 6th, so it could be. You might be off. But that night's going to be a night where it's WWE. Well, not really WWE. It's like Evolve. It's Evolve show. But anyone who knows, like Triple H has been, him and Gabe Sapolsky, they kind of been like in business for the longest, because a lot of like NXT stars, when they're not being used on TV, they go to Evolve. Like Street Profits were like the Evolve Tag Team Champions for a hot minute. So
really,
it doesn't, it doesn't surprise me that they did did a 10th anniversary show. As a matter of fact, in New York at the Evolve show, Kyle O'Reilly was actually wrestling at the show. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that NXT and Evolve are like, and the fact that they're streaming that particular company, because they're pretty much in cahoots in a sense. It's almost like a development for the development, because NXT is a development, but it got so big that it's a development that's bigger than what it's supposed to be. So Evolve is kind of like their little development in a sense.
Yeah. It's like the inception of wrestling.
Exactly. So yeah, but back on that man, like AEW, everybody wants them to be so different, and I love Kenny, man. Trust me, man. That dude is like the fucking guy to me. Like he is one of the top wrestlers on this planet. But you can't sit there and get pissed off about a business move. Like that's business 101, bro. Like when it comes to business, morals go out the window.
Yeah, of course.
And that's where like I think AEW's downfall could be. Because you're trying to please everyone, but you're going to end up pleasing no one. And WWE learning that themselves, trying to be the variety show instead of being an actual wrestling company.
Yep.
It all comes full circle.
Next week we will cover the AEW Firefight show intensively and probably very passionately. Hopefully we'll find Mitch by then. If we don't, then we don't. He'll turn up eventually.
Yeah, he'll pop up. Shout out Jeff Cobb. I'm hoping you get the dub, man, because you need it for fucking the G1 you about to jump in. And Jay Lethal, because he's one of them. Like between him, Jay Lethal, and the Briscoes, they're practically like, they are ROH to me. So.
Oh, without a doubt.
Shout out.
I throw Silas Young in there.
Yeah, Silas Young. He's another guy. So shout out to all of them. Shout out.
And well, I know we keep promising this, but next week for sure, we will be covering Ring of Honor Best in the World and all the fallout of that show.
Yes, because
I know it was on the 26th. I don't need anybody to turn my ass out about it. It's the 28th. It was the 28th. It was yesterday. We'll cover it tomorrow. We'll cover it next week, next Saturday, without a doubt, definitely.
Yeah, because there's consequences in that program, and ROH, as much as like people kind of forget them, they're the ones that like stay in their lane, and they're the reason why people like Punk, Cesaro, Joe, Daniel Bryan, Christopher Day, all these names that were there at one point. So yeah, we don't poo-poo ROH at one bit, because they're important in the wrestling industry.
Oh, without a doubt. I wish they would maybe grow a little bit more, but beggars can't be choosers. It's good for what it is.
I mean, I think they're more of the, and I'll put this in perspective. They're more Tyler, and everybody may not listen to this music, but they're more Tyler the Creator than Jay-Z, if that makes sense. And when
that makes absolutely no sense to me.
And yeah, of course, because so Tyler the Creator is like a rapper, and he's kind of known nationally, but he has a cult following. Like ROH is more of a cult following than a WWE, which is like a globally known sport.
Okay, so it's kind of like Radiohead and Coldplay.
Bingo, there you go.
There you go.
MC Hammer and Tone Loc. There you
Alright, and that shall do it for this edition of Wrestling with Entertainment. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment. It's greatly appreciated if you just push that like button, press that subscription button. It takes literally 1 second, and it would be greatly appreciated. On Twitter, you can agree, disagree, and give your condolences to Coelco. Where can they find you?
on Twitter, I am Coelco, and I'm gonna keep it going, man. Keep this thing moving. We're gonna talk about. I'll probably tweet out the Fighter Fest soon enough.
Yeah. Coelco is a fighter he's a Twitter warrior. You know how to kick him off on Twitter, don't you, Coelco?
A little bit, but I try to be sensible with it. I don't be like. It's not like I'm calling everybody idiots, but I see everybody's point of view. You know what I mean? I try to see everybody's point of view.
And I'm on Reddit. I'm JamesJ777. And we will see you next Saturday. For my co-host Coelco Yachts, I'm James J. And this is Wrestling with Entertainment.
There we go. That's